All right, peace, peace, peace. What up? First and foremost, man, hopefully the Most High in your house shall blessing your day. By His mercies we are consumed. We're alive in the Most High in your house shall body, and two, we're naturally alive, man. And I want to get into this, man, because you know what, man, it's really key on why. Because this is an element of, honestly, that I just all praise to the Most High in your house shall that I was just looking at, man, because I just finished up reading Matthew 16, and that's why I really see why, like, honestly, the Most High in house shall cleanse us to our people, like, to a woman, man, because and it's not even a bad way. And also too, let me put this disclaimer out. This is not to you know uh, um this is not to talk about like Peter or anything, because actually on the natural tip it's understandable, honestly, and we could talk about this. Scriptures brought a lot of times too, but I just felt like just picked up on something, man. It was just like something I just noticed, but it's pretty much like, I remember the Brother Chronicles of Judah used to say, man, one, like, always put the Most High in house shot first, because that's the only constant in our lives. And also too, as a man, our purpose becomes first. Like, more like brothers, even inside the word, even outside the word, like even across the world, are like, have understood that, or just understand that now, honestly too. Like, I mean, is that now that is one of beauties of, or one of the good things that the whole unquote MGTOW red pill movement does go into, honestly, even though it's a lot of things with the pros and cons of what they be saying a lot of times too. But that's one of the things too, like, and more men like that the Most High house shot with brothers inside the world, outside the world, are even starting to realize, honestly, because that is one of the good things too, honestly. But because also too throughout your life, honestly, like, never heard that. Like, most brothers never heard that, men never heard that. But now, like, now, but some men have heard that all their lives, and they just pass it down. But now, like, it's a lot of factors into that. But yeah, so it's not to talk about, like, this is not always talk about Peter as well, but because honestly, yeah, and even LL Cool J, I remember saying that your purpose becomes first. Like, even my brother, like, he's came to our realization as well, man, because he went through. I don't want to put all his business out, but he said, listen, man, because there was a point in time where, like, I like, me being alone, I had I was uncomfortable by that. But now, man, think about all the stuff I could accomplish, man, by putting my purpose first. Like, he realizes that even now, man. So, and I kind of learned from watching him, man, honestly, and other men in my life, older elders, even OGs, and, like, older men that told me that, honestly. So, and also too by experiences, honestly too. But because I actually, as a matter of fact, I was at a point, like, especially in my younger 20s, even before I got in the word, I was at a point like that now. But that's neither here nor there. But I want to get into this, man, because, like, because think about it, even in the beginning, when you read Genesis 2, like, like, shout to the brother of Assembly of the Firstborn, because he said this, because Adam had, like, rule and dominionship before Eve got in the picture. He had a purpose, like, from the Heavenly Father and the Most High in your house before Eve even got in the picture. That's why, like, that's where that dynamic comes from. That's why, like, as men, like, got realize that, man, too, like, because that's what most you know that's why we always say, man, like, on here, this is what's been told to me, and, like, through experience I've seen, and also too, like, for this either just brothers in general, either like, younger, or sometimes even older, man, we just need to hear this constant reminder, man. Especially, like, with a woman, man, if like, be mindful of a woman that, like, that stay away from the type of woman that thinks, like, your life started when you met her, honestly. Like, you're like, that's when, like, they think they're the catch, honestly. And we see that, we see this out here every day, honestly. And that's kind of, but that's a whole nother story for another day. Because when you live in the world or kingdom, especially this part on the Western world, Esau's kingdom, when, like, and also too is prophecy, like Jeremiah 31:22 and Isaiah 3:12. But when you've been when you live in a society that tells you that, like, that Disney programming, that women are the prize and things of that nature, that Cinderella, Aladdin type of thing, like, of course, the most majority of women will have that mentality. Not all, but majority of women will have that mentality. But that's neither here nor there. So I just wanted to say that. But let's get this to Matthew chapter 16 real quick, because yeah, let's get Matthew chapter 16 verse 21, because we gonna look at this in this aspect. It says, from the time begin forth, Yahushua shew his disciples how he must go into Jerusalem, suffer many things of the elders and the chief priests and the scribes, and be killed, and be raised again the third day. Then Peter took him and began to rebuke him, saying, be it far from thee, Lord, this shall not be unto thee. Verse 23. But he turned unto Peter and said, get thee behind me, saying, for thou hast the offense unto me, and for thou favorest things not to be of Yahweh, but those be of men. So see that? So it is a lot of reasons, aspects of that, but we're looking at this in the aspect of how a lot of times too, because I was just talking about this, like, you know, the yesterday with a sister last night, and because he was talking, like, you know, how her father and stuff. I told her, like, listen, I like black and white movies, old cowboy, and she said, like, you know, her father used to like cowboy movies, and how she don't. Actually, to my homie's sister said that too. She said, like, a lot of older men, they just like those black and white cowboys movies, like, you know, from that. And I do too as well. I love Meat TV, Twilight Zone, and all those things. John Wayne, Gary Cooper, or any other type of movies like that. I like them too. I don't watch them all the time, but I do like them as well. But notice, like, you know, something like pretty much this goes into how really the Most High house shows will come first, especially as a man. We gonna get Ecclesiastes 12 and 13 a little later, but as a man, the Most High Yahushua wills come first. Like, you know, that's our duty, honestly, and in our reasonable service. Honestly, that's what we were put here for, to please the Heavenly Father and His Son. Honestly, so, but notice how here, like, you know, yeah, that's why, like, the Most High Yahushua likens us to a woman, man, because Peter right there, it kind of like that. If y'all ever seen High Noon by Gary Cooper's in it, like, you know, it's a scene, or any other movies, TV show, things of that nature, where the woman or the wife wants the man, like, you know, to just come with her and, like, tend to her, like, you know, it's not even in the wicked place or evil place sometimes, tend to her rather than the purpose or the mission at hand. And that's why the Most High house likens us to that, because that's what Peter did. That's why we're his wife in that instance. That's why but that's the reason why how he could tell you're the bride of Christ in that aspect, man. But, you know, but Yahushua said to him, like, you know, Satan, because Satan can just mean adverse to the will of Most High Yahushua, this adversary. That's what he said, that, you know, in that aspect as well. But, you know, Peter, know how Peter just took it, like, you know, he's like, all right, cool, like, you know, he realized, okay, he's right, man, honestly. But you know, and that's is what it is too. And it's not the down talk Peter, because actually Peter really wasn't wicked or wrong, but, you know, it's understandable on the natural tip. But it's really like the Most High Yahushua's will. He had to do the will of the Father, and he had to fulfill the book, honestly. And, like, just, so others, or we won't be here to get save us from sin and death, and save, you know, those that will believe on Him, man. Honestly, so. But notice how, like, you know, that type of, there's a scene at High Noon, Gary Cooper, where, like, you know, his wife or his woman didn't want him to go, but he said, no, I got to handle this, honestly. And we see this plenty of times, plenty of times, one, in real life, and two, movies and TV, things of that nature. Even with Denzel, with Spike Lee 35 years ago, Mo Better Blues, man, because he was so focused, his purpose was music and that saxophone, man, and jazz. So, like, you know, and that was his purpose, man. A lot of times too, like, you know, and that's why a lot of times too, like, be mindful. That's what anybody. That's why Yahushua said, listen, anybody that's you can't love father, mother, brother, sister, child, anything more than me. Honestly, that's what he said. You can't, like, he didn't. Of course, he didn't say hate them, but listen, they pretty much what he was saying is that they were saying is that anybody don't come before me, man. That's why Ecclesiastes Sirach says, you know, don't give anybody power over your life, man, because the Most High Yahushua, like, you know, that's the power of our lives, man. Speaking of Denzel, the Book of Eli, hence the Book of Eli, the book of my power. But going back to that point with Denzel, man, noticing Mo Better Blues, man, like, even if there's a scene in that where you know, his concubine or his side chick, whatever, they're making love, whatever, and she bites his lip because she knew that was his only love, and she did that purposely. If y'all ever seen it, because she was envious of that. She wanted, like, you know, him to focus on her, honestly, and his purpose came first, honestly, and that's what he was born to do. So, and that's why even this aspect of, I was looking at this, that's why he even looks like, you know, he akins us to let's get that Jeremiah 6:2 real quick. Jeremiah 6:2. I have likened the door of Zion to a comely, delicate woman, man. Honestly, man, because that's why, man. Because let's look at this again. Matthew chapter 16 verse 23. But he turned and said unto Peter, Get thee behind me, saying, Thou art offense unto me. For thou savorest not the things that be of Yahweh, but those that be of men. Because yeah, Peter had. That's why he comes us to that woman, man. Because we see this plenty of times. Actually, shoot, a lot of men that make that mistake you know, because this been taught, especially to us, our people, man, that Jahim type of spirit, put that woman first, man. And he looked better now, but it was a stretch, man. Boy, have you seen Jahim at one point? He was looking bad. Like, you know, that's what happens when you put, like, you know, put that woman first type of thing, man. And of course, like, you know, it's not bashing or hate against women, but that's not, like, you know, that's not what the Heavenly Father since the beginning ever commanded us to do, man. That's why, you know, it's really putting nobody above them, honestly. So yeah, man, that's just him and his son, man. But that's just is what it is, though, man. Yeah, man, let's get Ecclesiastes. I was about to say something, but I forgot. That's the purpose, man. That's the duty. Even I got to find that real. I think the brother Akawar put it, man. Even the sister, because you know it is too, and that's why. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Even like, you know, that's why the Most High house will come first, man. Because even like, you know, even brothers and sisters, like, you know, even there's brothers and sisters in the word that like go through this, man. But you know, honestly, a true godly woman. Like, you know, and also too, when I'm talking about women, it's like, you know, I'm not just talking about the natural woman as well, man. Like Jeremiah 6:2, what we just brought out, but even on natural, actual woman, a true godly woman isn't gonna want you to put her first. Honestly, a true godly woman is not gonna, like, you know, gonna want that, man. She's gonna want you to do the will of the Father and the Most High house, like first, man. Honestly, and you know, some sisters out here that realize that, man, because I seen the clip of a sister saying that, man. Like, you know, shout out to the brother Akaori. He had the reel on his page, but I gotta find it. But she said they're not used to a man, like, you know, Christ was here. They're not used to a man that having his purpose first, like, you know. And I'm gonna have to find the reel or reshare it, but that's a fact though. I wish I could find it. She said it perfectly. The sister, she might have been the word, I believe so. I'm not sure, but that's just is what it is too. And some sisters understand that as well. You know, just realize that that's what we were put here for. But sometimes our more brothers are realizing that, but like, you know, yeah, man. But you know, when you haven't, like, you know, been taught that, then how would you know, honestly, man? But you know, cause yeah, man, but honestly, even to sisters too as well, man. Even though like they were put here for a man, like, but honestly, says the sisters as well, that they like, you know, you got to put the Most High house first as well, of course. Now you serve, and you know, your husband as unto the Lord. But at the end of the day, as well, like, you know, the Most High house comes first as well, even with a sister. But you know, but for that, it's a little that's what anybody, though, brother or sister, Most High house comes first, honestly, especially us as men, honestly, like, you know. But for sisters, it's the same, but it's really a lot of things with that as well. But you know, But I said it to say there's a lot of nuances with that as well, because a lot of times, like, you know, let me say, how do I say this? That's enough. That's enough stuff for another. I had to use my words wisely with that, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Not in a bad way. I just don't want to say it in a clunky way. But Ecclesiastes 12:13. It says, "Let us hear the whole conclusion of the whole matter. Fear Yahweh, keep His commandments. This is the whole duty of man." Exactly, man. And how, and you know, and what spirit shall we do it in? Let's see. Let's see what's we get hold on, let's get it right here. My bad. Hold on, yo. Yeah, okay. It came back to my Luke 17:10. This is the spirit we're supposed to do it in. because we're unprofitable. So yeah, Luke 17 verse 10. So likewise, when ye shall have done all these things we are commanded of you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done which is our duty to do. And yeah, exactly, man, because we're unprofitable. Because the Most High house shall do not need me. Honestly, that's just what it is. Because you know what? Even on that, that's why he comes us to a woman. Honestly, like, you know, because to be real, because this not gonna sound like, you know, especially like, you know, as a man that's about one, the Most High in your house has business, the Father, the Most High in your house has business, and you know, the Most High in your house has will, the Most High in Christ's will. Honestly, even outside the world, even on natural tip, that it's so purpose and focus driven, so focused on his purpose, and you know, driven on that, because like, you know, like we always say, no, let me not go there, because I'm gonna get too caught up in the sidebar. But there's really, if you really think about it, honestly, I started talking about this with my actual brother, and even my homie, like, and shout out to brother Simeon Firstmore, because he said this as well, and he said this perfectly. Because if you really think about it, was a man truly, when he gets with a woman, really, that's really, like, you know, has the attributes and really focus on the Most High house as well, even outside the word, even on that, to focus on his purpose. By getting with a woman, he really gaining by that? Because, you know, we got the of course, like, you know, I was watching the whole, like, a few weeks ago, I was watching the, because sometimes we watch like the whole pop the balloon thing, and a lot of times women say this, I am the table and stuff like that, but, you know, that mentality of, like, you know, this them existing, you know, that's it, just like you know, not just a natural woman, because a lot of times our people feel that way, like, or the sons of Adam feel that way. I exist, so, like, you know, I'm waiting for the Most High house to come to me. Yeah, so that's where that even comes from. But what is he, if when a man takes in a woman, what's he really gaining, really, honestly? Like, what can you really do for him, honestly? That's really kind of having the attributes that we just talked about. It's not, if you really think about it, it's not really like, and we're not talking about the men that's, like, you know, that's looking for a void in his life, that, like, lack of love from the mother, or, like, you know, brokenhearted, or like worships women and things of that nature. Not that, honestly, that's a little different. But really, a man like that just doing that, because even, like, you know, perfectly, that's why Jeremiah 6:2. Because really, what did the Most High Yahushua, like, you know, really get by marrying Israel, or, like, you know, choosing us as a people? Because listen, that's why no natural man would even deal with that in his right mind. Like, you know, that's in a traditional man that's right in his right mind would even put up with a stiff neck and rebellious woman. They like, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, I think he had Hosea marry a harlot, man, and Hosea didn't even want to do it. But see, that was the point of that, man, because honestly, it was just showing, like, you know, how we were as a people, even to this day. So it's like, yeah, like, because really, what did the Most High house really gain by, like, you know, taking us, honestly, like, you know, choosing us, man, because it was his will, and that was really, but he said, listen, like, you know, I mean, of course, it was a covenant they made with our Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, of course, but, you know, what did, besides that, like, really, what did we, and that's how you kind of, sometimes brothers gotta look at that, like, you know, with dealing with, like, even, because it's all a reflection of, it's a whole, like, a holy mirror, it's self-reflection of the word. Because, like, honestly, because, like, we was talking about this the other day, like, how we see, that's why even, like, the MGTOW and the Red Pill brothers, even outside of that, like, you know, I don't realize, like, you know, how we see our sisters acting, the modern, like, these Western liberal women, divine feminine, mother gods worship women act. It's really how we act against how we act against our God, the Most High Yahweh, man. So it's really just the same. So that's why, you know, it is what it is with that. But yeah, man, that's just one thing as well with that, man. But yeah, man, pretty much, man. Let's get to Luke 14 and 26. If any If any man come to me and hate not his father, mother, and wife, and children, and brethren, and sisters, and yea, his own life, he cannot be my disciple. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's just is what it is, man. So, yeah, man. That's pretty much going to how, like, you know, most on how shall comes first, man. So, yeah, man. I just wanted to get into this because that's the aspect of that account with Peter that is not looked at. It's like, you know, like a woman, since, and it's not because Peter's a greater man and righteous man. He got testimony in heaven and and on earth now. Like, he's a son of God, man. So I'm just saying that it's for our learning. We're just saying that, looking at in this aspect of, like, how, like, sometimes, like, you're a woman or a wife, like, or any woman in your life, because sometimes it could be your mother, your sister, your your wife, significant other, but preferably significant other has this, like, you like, they want you to, like, to do, and sometimes not always in a wicked type of way. It's not always in an evil or malicious type of way. They want you to, like, tend to them or focus on them before your purpose, and that's not the case, honestly. And we can see that in aspect with that account. So hopefully it's edifying. So yeah, peace.